My name is Olivia Sears and I am here with
Dr. Clarke.
And we are going to do an interview on how your video with your daughter went viral. So, can you tell us what happened?
Yes, on Sunday I took my daughter to her first Bronco game ever, and her goal for the day was to get on the Jumbotron. So she made a sign, I guess we worked together on a sign for her to hold, saying my first Bronco game, and I thought we had good seats. They're my grandparents' seats. My grandparents have had season tickets since 1960 for the Broncos, since they were invented. And so we had good seats, and I was sure she would get on the Jumbotron. It took the whole game for her to get on the Jumbotron. We got there with 2 minutes left, which was amazing. And she was so excited. Our whole section cheered for her, and I've got video of that, so that was really fun. And then after, she surprised me and said, I want to go get an autograph.
Yeah.
And we'd gotten autographs from the Rapids before, but Rapids games versus Bronco games are a different deal. And so we found out where you needed to go down to the field, like when the players were running off. And so no one was signing autographs there. Most of the Broncos were just running past. And there was like rows of people, so like adults. And I'm like, we're too far away. And this woman heard me say that, and Abby was her name. And Abby's like, put her up here. So I grabbed her and like put her over this like fence area. And so she got up right front so she could like lean over. And then her and Abby started yelling at Cortland Sutton, who's the Broncos wide receiver, as he was running off. They're like, it's our first game, Cortland. And so he reaches up and gives her his glove. And Abby made sure that she got it, which was amazing because you've seen in social media like people stealing stuff from kids. And so it was wonderful. And then I was recording this whole thing, because I record everything. And then my daughter just had this emotional reaction. She just was so overwhelmed by it and thankful. And so she just started crying. I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, am I being a good father by recording this or a bad father? Good father was the answer. And so she cried. And then afterwards I said, Paula, this would be really cool for like the news. I think the news would like this. Are you okay with me sharing this? Do you want me to share this? And she said, yeah, I would love that. So we waited outside to try to find news people, because nothing happens if you don't make it happen. So like even this could have happened and no one could have seen it, but we took the extra step to find media people like yourself. And anybody who was coming out of the stadium that looked like they were at the media or they had badges, like 9 news badges, we found those people, and they said to email us at this thing. And then we saw a radio personality who I knew him called D-Mac. He's a local news guy. And I said, D-Mac, how can I get this to you? And he said, tweet it at me and I'll retweet it. So I'm not really a Twitter person, but I do have a Twitter account, so I tweeted it and I tagged the Broncos, I tagged 9 News, I tagged a couple other people that I knew, and then nothing happened right away, but then all of a sudden, like that night, it started blowing up in like millions of views.
Yeah, I've seen the video, it's super cute. But what does she think about it?
She loved it, so she loved the whole experience. She doesn't really care as much about the glove as other people would, so that's interesting, but she loved that she was the one who got it. She felt really special that he gave it to her, and just in that moment it was so special to her. And then so then we got to go on the news story too. We were invited on the news, and that was amazing. And then it was my wife's idea actually for her to bring her glove to the news. So my daughter plays flag football, or played flag football, and she had wide receiver gloves too. And so when the people said, what would you like to say to Cortland Sutton if you could say to him that the news anchor, she said, I would like him to have my glove. And so the woman that was the news anchor, Sam is her name, knew the wide receiver coach for the Broncos. So she literally drove it herself over that night to this woman that she knew, and they got it to Cortland Sutton the next day. And then it's been a trip. Like he was talking about in their news conference, he says my daughter's name in there and how much it means to him. Then he sent us a private video. The Broncos DM'd me.
Oh my goodness.
So the Broncos are like, what's your address? We want to send you something. So that's amazing. This other radio personality's DM'd me, so it's been a trip.
That is very exciting. What were your thoughts on like seeing your video start to go viral?
My thoughts are always about the students, actually. So I've been sharing this with all my classes, which has been a wonderful experience. And with the messaging that you kind of make your own luck. So luck is a really important thing. However, you need to put yourself in situations where you can be lucky. And so my daughter did that by trying to go down there and get the autograph. And then I did that by pursuing the story and keep connecting it. And I always think life is about connections and networking. It's something that's never really taught in school, or it's hard to teach in school. And so because I'm pursuing all these things, in my mind I'm doing a lot of good for the community outside of school and plus with my students. And so if I can make these extra connections, so now I'm connected with these news anchors, for example, this woman Sam who has 60,000 Instagram followers and has a vast network herself, so I'm connected with her. I'm now connected with the Broncos in a little way, potentially Cortland Sutton and his wife who's shared it on social media too. So having these connections can be really cool and leveraging it. And so that's another thing with leveraging it. So I wanted to, when I was on there, my only goal on the news was to say the Nighthawks. I wanted to say go Nighthawks on there. the conversation was like winding down. I'm like, if I don't just force it in here, it's never going to happen. So in our news story, then I started saying, yeah, I've shared this with my students. I'm a teacher at Northfield High School, go Nighthawks. And so that was a really big thing. And then no one actually watches the news. Like none of you guys are going to watch the news. But what I can do is I can now edit that together. I can share it with the parents at the school who I want to connect to for the yearbook. I can share it with you guys, and so that makes you feel special. And so I'm always thinking strategically in that way to leverage these connections in a network. And so I see it as such a huge opportunity. It's really fun, but I also see it as such a learning experience.
Yeah, that's
The thing I did not do, and because I just haven't had time, was send it to like national media. So like Good Morning America plays stuff like this all the time. My daughter has one other previous viral video. So she had a gymnastics video years ago that went viral, and that was a fun experience. And so I would never want to share anything that would be embarrassing to her, and I don't want to exploit her, so that's something I'm conscious of too, and this hasn't done any of that. But I do think these can be videos that she can then, when she's in video production class in 10 years, she can come here and use these for her personal stuff too, and to benefit her in the future.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting, and I'm glad that she got that experience. And when's the next time she's going to a Broncos game?
There you go, good question. I don't know, these were tickets we were given, so probably a long time. But I think it will ever, I guess you can have this. One of my goals is for Cortland Sutton to score more touchdowns this weekend, so he she becomes his good luck charm, and we are forever connected. So that's what I'm going for. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.